What is up, everybody? This is your man Dre Mack from the Dre Mack Show. Do we date inferior partners? That is the conversation today. We're going to talk about dating and relationships again, only on the Dre Mack Show.
What's up? What's going on, everybody? This is your man Dre Mack with another episode of the Dre Mack Podcast Show.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Dre Mack Show. So, this particular topic today, do we date inferior partners and why? This is a topic that I kind of wanted to talk about because I hear a lot of stories from people who complain about the people that they've been with, or the people that they're with. They talk about, well, this person, I don't think this person on my level. I don't think this person kind of gets it. I don't think this person I've only really kind of got with this person because I was lonely, and I kind of was, now that I kind of came to my senses, I'm not lonely anymore, so I settled for somebody or whatever. Are we actually dating people that actually are on our level? So again, that's the conversation that we're having today. Again, I'm live on the YouTube channel right now. I am live on the Facebook page right now. I am also live inside of Clubhouse. Everybody in Clubhouse, what's up? What's happening? Y'all can take yourself off of mute and say what's up.
Yo, what up?
Yo, what up? What up? What up?
What's poppin'?
So again, I got my Clubhouse audience in here, and we're gonna talk about this. Or do we date inferior partners and why? So let me kind of give you a generalization of kind of what I was saying, and then I'm gonna go to the audience on this. And of course, if you're live on the Facebook page right now, or if you're live on YouTube, make sure you hit like, subscribe. Make sure you guys are commenting in the comment section. I will be talking and bringing up your comments and your questions from the comment section. I am going to post it on the page and answer your questions. Have the questions sent to the people that's on Clubhouse right now. So make sure that you're sending in your questions, your comments and stuff. But let me kind of give you an example. So you're dating someone, right? And they look good to you, or they have money or something. They're okay, but you're kind of in a situation or whatever where you feel like, you know what? I ain't dating nobody, so let me just give this a shot. You end up being with this person. You find out they're kind of not on your level. You know what I'm saying? So you actually start to, that this person, they like you. They like you, but you're not really into them. So they start to do a lot of things for you, and you start to feel like you can control the situation. So you're the superior in the situation. And now that you feel like they're inferior because, hell, you don't really, they're cool. You know what I'm saying? You just kind of settle for them anyway. So now you feel like you're dating somebody inferior to you because you feel like they're not on your level. They're not at the same level that you are. They don't like you the way that you like them. But you just kind of settle for them because you wasn't dating. They came around that was consistent or whatever. And you just was like, hey, I'm gonna just go ahead and be with this person. You know what I'm saying? So you end up complaining about this person because they wasn't the person that you wanted to be with in the first place. And I believe all of us at one point in time has dated someone that they wasn't on the same level as you. So I'm gonna post this, bring this to the audience inside of Clubhouse. Have any of you guys, and this is popcorn session. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have to flash your mic. All I do is say, hey, I'm so-and-so from so-and-so. And you just let me know. Have you ever seen anyone date someone inferior, or they became inferior in a relationship in dating? Y'all can talk now.
What's up? This is Sassy. I've seen it oftentimes. Have I been the inferior one, or have I dated someone that was inferior to me? I have dated some. I've actually dated a couple guys that were inferior to me, but it was something else that they had that kind of heightened their, I guess, value in a sense and made them more attractive.
Like, could have been something as simple as what?
Like, okay, so prime example, there's one guy who I felt like I deserved better. I felt like he couldn't give me what I wanted, not physically, not financially, but the one thing that he was able to do was give me peace. And because he was able to give me a certain level of peace that none of my friends could give, none of my family could give, or that I couldn't even give myself, that made me stay longer.
And he wasn't directly on your level. It wasn't like, yo, this guy is on my level. He's doing this, he's doing that.
I was smarter than him. I had more money than him. I made better decisions than him, but he gave me that peace.
Does that fall into the build-a-boo category? Does that fall in? I'm sorry, Brand. I'm sorry. I was gonna say, does that fall in the build-a-boo category with that too?
No, I didn't build
him. Go ahead, Brand. I'm sorry.
I ain't say nothing. All I said, not the smarter and having more money.
I mean,
Well, I could have gave a whole list, but I didn't want to, like put the man down.
I mean, but that's true though. Like how many times have you seen someone that you like? How are you with this person? They're, like you said, Sassy, you were at a level where you should have dated up, but because he gave you one element that, I mean, everybody wants peace, so I'm not mad at that. At the same time, he didn't have none of the other characteristics. He was like, well, he's here. So, I mean, men, certain men date women that have absolutely nothing to offer but a pretty face and a beautiful body.
Say it again.
Yeah, there's some men who date women that have nothing else to offer but a beautiful body and a pretty face. She could be dumber.
For the people in the back.
There are some men who date women have nothing else to offer but a pretty face and a beautiful body. That woman could be dumber than a box of rocks. She has nothing else to offer but that. So he becomes superior because now, this is what I'm saying. This is the scenario. He becomes superior because she's looking more at him. She'll do whatever he say because maybe this man has money. Maybe he's he's successful. He's a guy who don't need her. You know what I'm saying? And only thing she can offer to the table is a pretty face, beautiful body. She doesn't have any type of financial plans or whatever. She's just there. She's almost like the trophy woman or the trophy wife. Have you guys ever seen that? Where you see a guy who's with a woman who is, I'm talking about, this woman makes good money. She takes care of house and home. It's almost like she's taking care of another child. Have you guys ever seen that? And how does that look? Boy, this is popcorn session. Y'all can talk it whenever y'all want. This popcorn session.
To be honest, when the sex is really good, there's a lot of things that they do that they shouldn't do.
The sex.
Oh, not always.
I wouldn't say always, but that's facts. When the sex is really good, people
it's true, but that's not always the case.
I didn't say always. You said always. It's facts.
What?
I got an example based off what you just said, Dre. It's Soul Shell from the chat in Florida.
Shout out by Soul Shell from the chat. Go and check their YouTube channel out. Soul Shell from the chat. That's the homie. She has been on the show. Go ahead now.
And don't worry about my bio if y'all taking a look. I'm fixing it up because my last Clubhouse, I'm locked out of it. Okay. So
example, when I was younger, in my heyday, around 23, 24, and I could be perceived as that girl with the banging body that was cute. All the guys wanted me, whatever. I had a little sugar daddy. And
the sugar daddy.
It would appear that I had nothing to offer him except for being cute and somebody he showed around to his friends and his family members or whatever. But here's what I learned. I had more to offer. He just never asked. I would always ask him, you don't know anything about me. Like, how come you're not trying to, like, dig into who I am? It's like, and then when he told me one day that he really, really liked me, and I was confused. I'm like, what? You don't even ask me anything. You just come pick me up. You pay a bill or two. And then, you know, we drive around to wherever we're going. I come back home. Like, this, it's nothing there. So sometimes I think it's not that the woman may not offer something. Sometimes men, when they have a certain stature, that's all they care about is it how you look. It can be so many things because everybody got a book to read up underneath. You know what I'm saying? It's just up to that person to if they want to read it or not. And some people don't ask questions. They don't do nothing. They just maybe just like your presence, and that has nothing to do with the person. It's on you if you're not seeing what else this person got going on.
Right. So there's in sometimes what you were saying is right. You know, once you get a certain status, I know some guys think because they make X amount of dollars. I think that's the whole high value conversation. You know, that they only dating a certain type of woman. But again, what are these women? Because there's women that's going to throw themselves at a guy who's making a lot of money. Let's just be real. You know what I'm saying? If you have a certain status, I mean, you could be a musician, you could be you know, an artist, you know what I'm saying, music artist, you could be in entertainment. You see these women just throw themselves at these guys. You know what I'm saying? Because either they want to be a part of the status or whatever the case may be, there's always this status. You know what I'm saying? It comes with that, and these women is throwing themselves at them. So, you know, of course, if you have all of this, it's a process of elimination. But some guys might see somebody who's just, oh, that girl bad. You know what I'm saying? So she look good on their arm. You see athletes do that all the time. Matter of fact, I'm not going to say this particular athlete's name or whatever, but I seen an athlete that was a Chiefs player back in the day, very high profile football player at this time, who I seen at the club with two beautiful women, but we all knew what those women were, you know, what those women were about. We knew what it was, you know, so he's the superior one now, and now they're inferior because they're with him. Oh, now I feel like I'm satisfied, but you're still on the bottom of the totem pole. You're not equal to him. The reason why I say, are they equal, like Jay-Z and Beyonce, they're equal. That's an equal combination that you know what I'm saying, that you can see if we're using a celebrity as as something to look at. Those two are equal to each other. You know what I mean? There's not one that's bigger than the other because both of them, have a status, so they could be able to move and maneuver and look equal. But you see someone that is, I say, like if Lizzo's dating a guy, he's not, you know, and the guy is not on the same level as him. She's actually the superior one in the equation because he may not be making the same money as Lizzo, or maybe mentally he's not as the same as Lizzo. Spiritually, he might not be the same because he just looks like arm candy until you get into the meat of the situation. I'm just using him as an example. But what do you guys think about that? Do you see that a lot too? And again, this is popcorn session. You can just feel free just to speak. Anybody can feel free to speak. Go ahead. Whoever opened up their mic.
Again, I still don't believe it. This is Steve again. I don't believe in dating down or dating up. I think it's all dealing with the mental of the people involved in the situation. A woman don't need to have a lot of money, but if she actually has some type of knowledge and she's well read, I'm more adept to want to deal with her than someone that's people need to deal with people that actually fit them for real. If you are an educator or you into working in the community or things of that nature, if you like playing checkers all the time and your mate don't like playing checkers, that might not be the mate for you if they're not into board games and you love board games. A lot of times we get into a lot of relationships, I feel, and we don't look at the real after sex.
Is that
after sex is gone? Do we really love each other? Do we actually enjoy the same things? Do we actually are we always arguing over different situations because we are two totally different people? That's where I feel like we're dating outside of our needs instead of dating up and down. Money really don't matter because we ain't supposed to be marrying for money. We're supposed to be marrying for what feels comfortable and what could you spend the rest of your life with, listening to and understanding and finding out more about. And I'll stop right there.
I agree with you, Stephen. Go ahead, Zach. Oh. I was going to say, I agree with that because as far as inferior, I think once you place that label on somebody's inferior or superior to you, like they kind of put some kind of like, I don't know, I don't like those terms. Like, I just feel like people are people. I don't even I follow a lot of celebrities. I don't even look at celebrities as being like superior to me. They're still people. They still have mental health issues and all kind of stuff like everybody else does. And I just feel like if we come to a point to where we actually date not based on condition, but based on, does this person have a nice smile? Do they bring me peace? You know what I'm saying? Do they? What are these other factors that's more like human versus what they can give me or what they can't give me or what they doing? I don't give a damn. You got $1 million, so that's your $1 million. What they gonna do for me? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
I think because the reason why we put those labels, because you gotta call a duck a duck. You know what I mean? And you have, especially at this day and age, where you start looking at the way dating is and the way you hear it, especially on Clubhouse. You hear people believe these, you get on here and these guys be talking about how much money they got and this and the other, and the women be talking about they want a guy, not saying everyone, but you hear these conversations about, these guys are offering just money. Then you're like, well, what are you really dating for? If that's all you got to offer, if you're just saying, I got money, I can take care of you financially. Are you just looking for someone that you could just take care of? And the reason why I say superior and inferior and then equal level is because if you got someone and they completely run the whole entire relationship, you have men that are with women who those women run that whole entire relationship because they're not on equal footing. You know what I mean? They're not on equal ground mentally, spiritually, whatever it is. They're not on equal footing. So you see this guy get ran completely. You're like, why are you even with this woman? This woman is running you completely ragged. You don't do anything. You know what I'm saying? To stop it. Who's really running? And you get that question. Who's really running, wearing the pants in this relationship? Or you have guys who would get with women who don't have the same mental capacity to be able to. They feel like they're on the same level. So that man treats that woman like she's inferior. Like, I'm here, you're there. You just need to be my wife. You need to wash my drawers, cook me something to eat. You're just wife. You're nothing else but wife. So
I agree with that too. I think people use it as a form of control.
And that's what I'm saying. Do we date inferior partners, and why? Do we date people just to because it's easier to control? Because you have some people who would not date a strong-headed person, and I know a lot of women have said this. I'm too strong. He's too weak-minded for me. I'm too strong for him. Have you? Am I just making this up? Maybe I'm crazy. Y'all, I'm probably crazy. That's on YouTube right now, and I've just made this up. It's a popcorn session. Y'all pop in. Let me know.
No, it doesn't sound crazy. But before I respond to what you say, what you just said, on the flip side of what Steven said, sometimes you have to date the opposite. I love ice skating. It's therapeutic. I don't want to date a man that loves the ice skate because ice skating is my time to myself. I don't
Right.
want to ice skate with you. I want to ice skate with myself. I love doing certain things for myself. It doesn't bother me if you don't like to play Sudoku and I like playing Sudoku. That's therapeutic to me. I don't want to do Sudoku together. That is me time. You know what I mean? So there's certain passions that you have that are you time that you don't want to share. So on the flip side, yes, I understand that you want to have that level of this is what we do together and that's great. This is how we bond. But there are also some things where it's like, prime example, I work in entertainment. So when I'm doing concerts behind the scenes, you know, working backstage and doing all these plays and stuff, I don't want a man that's working in that industry because both of our hours are jacked up. We both can't have hours where I might be coming home 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. I might be working 14 hours. You might be working 14 hours. I'm off on this day, but you work this day. And then the days where you're off, it's kind of like I need an opposite. If I'm going to have an unstable schedule, I need somebody that has a stable schedule. You know what I mean? When it comes to a job. But going back to what you said, sometimes people date inferior because they have this fear of being pushed. So people go with what they know and they like to stay comfortable. When you are being in a position where somebody pushes you to be greater and you're not accustomed to that, that sets this level of fear. So it's like, you know what, let me stay in control. So I'm going to just go ahead and date down because at least I know that I'm still the catch and I'm still the prize and I don't have to question my worth as opposed to you going head to head with somebody that's better than you.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Anybody else? This popcorn session, y'all.
I just thought of that just now.
Right, this popcorn session, y'all. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
I'm with that, Sassy. I'm just, this is Steve again. You know, sometimes every girl I date, I try to make them do the Myers-Briggs test. And it seems that I always end up getting an introvert. And I'm a total extrovert. And a lot of times they don't always mash up too swell, but you got a homebody and you want to be out. And there's a lot of aspects of just normal life that really you want to match up somewhat. I know we all got hobbies. I don't want to take somebody else's hobby. Maybe you like throwing horseshoes. I don't want to throw no horseshoes, so that's gonna be your thing. But
horseshoes?
play games like that.
I ain't threw horseshoes since I was a kid.
Me too.
But it's just you do want to have some type of normal pathway of saying we get along because we do both of these things that we enjoy.
Facts.
And those are usually like hobbies, or we both like to travel, or we both like to ice skate, and maybe sometimes we can go ice skate, but just don't be up around me the whole time. Go skate someplace else for a second.
All right, anybody else? Y'all can jump in here. Jump in. I want to hear from y'all.
I'm currently talking to someone that I actually feel inferior to. But
who's speaking right now? I'm sorry. Who's speaking right now?
Dina.
Hey, Dina. Because we're live on YouTube. Dina, where where you calling? I mean, where you coming from right now? What city, state, or?
I'm gonna keep that a secret. Totally fine. But like I was saying, I'm talking to someone who I feel inferior to, but he doesn't feel that I am. And
explain that a little bit. How do you feel that you're inferior to? Are you inferior, or do you feel superior to him?
No, I feel inferior to him, but he doesn't. He think I'm awesome. I think it's because I feel as though he's a influential person, and I don't know. And I told him this. We had this conversation. I was like, I'm just a regular girl, and I feel like I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I feel like I'm just a regular girl, and he's just.
You put him on a pedestal?
Yeah, I think I do, because he's very amazing. He's awesome. He has a great career, and I don't know, but he thinks I'm like the bee's knees, and that's totally fine. I don't know. I don't know why I feel that way, but slowly I kind of let go of that thinking, and I'm able to just be myself. But sometimes it's not that you feel that the person isn't like superior. Sometimes it's the way you think as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but he's an awesome person. But he and I don't think I think highly of myself. But compared to him, like I don't.
What
I don't match up.
like is it job wise? Is it what? Why you don't feel like you match up?
I don't want to say I don't know, because I do know. He has money, and he has power, and he has influence, and he could have any other girl, but he chooses to talk to me. And because sometimes I'm like, what does he see in me? Like, and we have like conversations. We're just cordial. I'm always making him laugh. Like, we never go a day without talking to each other. He's always checking in. I don't know, but I feel like maybe because I know that he has so much options, and then little me, regular old me, and he chooses to talk to me.
Can I say something?
Yeah, this is popcorn session, baby. Go ahead, do it. Who is this?
This is AD the Pen.
Oh, what up, AD?
What's up, Dre? Respectfully, if you don't mind, first off, I would just say to you, never devalue yourself. If there's a foundation that the man already has, you just never know a man's background. Some people really, in fact, stick to their roots. And no matter how far they've gotten in life, they never forget what their foundation was. So they're still 10 toes down on based on what they like and what they prefer. Mm-hmm. You may, in fact, have something that most men don't. You know, I mean, like the game back in the day for men, I would say back where I'm from, when you find a woman that had a lot to offer, and you know you didn't have a lot to bring to the table as far as what she had financially, you still knew as a man that you were secure in yourself, right? So when you met a woman and you approached her, you know, we always had the mindset, worst case she could be told was no. Worst case, she tells you no, she's not interested in you. But never devalue yourself. And as a woman, I'm going to stick to what you said. You might have something that women don't have, and in fact, it may be the one thing that he wants. Like a good conversation, right? Mm-hmm. Women, if a man has power and money, he can get a million one women, but how many of them are genuine? You know? And just, I mean, you know, there are women that prey on men like that, you know? They'll be everything in the book to him, and he'll sniff it out in a heartbeat, and that turns a man off. You know, sometimes, you know, I mean, you talked a while ago, Dre, about organic, you know? Sometimes when it's organic, a man will gravitate more to that than anything else, because disingenuine is easily able to be sniffed out and seen through people nowadays. With so much, with so many women saying, "Come on, holler at me," you know, I'm a baddie, come bless me. You know, we can kind of tell what kind of women we're dealing with right up front at the gate. But sometimes when a man puts that time into talking to you and he realizes that, man, she ain't asked me about money once. Mm-hmm. And I got it. She didn't ask me about vacationing at all and take her places. You know, then he's gonna do it for you out of the genuine, out of the sincerity of his heart, because you didn't ask for it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Because he's told me out of his mouth, like I'm very consistent. Like he told me, like he expect like when my attitude is off. Not like I have an attitude problem, but like if I'm having a bad day, he could pick it up and he'll like, well, I know something's wrong, and he'll communicate that with me. Like, I don't know, I feel very comfortable with him. I'm always myself. Like, I've even had like FaceTimes with him when I look horrible, capital H. Well, yeah. And he was like, no, you look beautiful. And, you know, I have natural hair and my hair looks crazy. And he was like, no, I try to flip the screen so he doesn't see my face, and he'll be like, no, I want to see it. Like, he's very like
he likes organic.
That's what it is. He don't like Dina, he don't like GMOs.
And I'm thinking like, yo, there's like all these Twitter baddies, Instagram baddies, and I think I'm regular. And like I said, I do know I'm dope. I do know I'm awesome, but sometimes I feel like
you're a woman. You're gonna feel like some.
Can I compete? I don't mind competing, but like there's chicks out there that look amazing and they do this and do that and they're awesome.
And Dina, I think
never focus on competition.
Right.
You are uniquely you. He probably loves that. You know, the women out here are getting their face done, their lips done, their ass done, their breasts done to be somebody else that they not.
We shouldn't body shame. We shouldn't.
No. You got it.
I'm not saying body shame. What I'm saying is women are making themselves up to be presentable to a man. But then you got to remember when it's time to open your mouth to speak to this man after you've done all this body modification and upgrading, have you changed their mentality as well? Some women have not. And when you talk to a man can be turned on by a conversation more than anything else. That's why a lot of times when a man talks to a woman and he's really into her, if he's not met her before and he does meet her and she's not all that they expect her to be over that phone, as long as he's not being catfished, he's going to love that woman or at least appreciate her enough to give her the time of day because she came to him genuine and the conversation felt like he could build off of that and he could learn from her. But when a woman is beautiful and can deliver shit out of her mouth except for what's on social media or on TV, a lot of men get turned off by it. We don't like that. We want to be fed something mentally and spiritually. And if you can feed me both those kind of ways and whatever else you need, I will grant you with hopes that we can build off something together. So don't never count yourself out because you never know what attributes you have that a man might need. And a man like him might just want peace, calm, you know, and most of all, reassurance. So when you talk to him, he does not probably want anything from you but that. And when he does give you his all, it'll be genuine. So that's the kind of man you want to hold on to. And you, the kind of woman that she should hold on to as well. You know?
And I challenge him.
Right. And I'm going to read this from the comment section just real quick because, AD, you said, you know, very awesome what you said. Lynette from on the Facebook page said, I married Inferior. He told me so after we were married for over 14 years. I think we date/marry our mothers or the women responsible for raising us, whether positive or negative, until we heal. And she also, this is a response to Dina. She said, be you, never compare yourself to another woman. There is no competition for being you. There is only one you. And she said to AD, teach sir. So just awesome hearing that from AD. And again, Dina, I think the misconception, because a lot of women don't ask men, and just like the same thing, a lot of men don't ask women, what do we really want? I think that's a thing. A lot of people think that men want these, you know, a woman because they propagate it so much that we want these big booty, you know, big breasts, you know what I'm saying? All this type of this particular type of woman. That's why the first thing you said is that he can get these women, that these Instagram models. Not everybody wants an Instagram model. You know what I mean? Not everyone wants that. And no one ever asks the question, what do you want? You know what I mean? What do you really want? Because I don't think we ever question that. And I believe that's the reason why we sometimes date inferior, or we become inferior, because we start to settle, or we have a selfish inclination of what we really want. So we go with I just want her because she's bad. Now I'm putting her down because only thing that I can see is that she's bad. I don't see nothing else, just gorgeous woman. The selfishness. You know what I'm saying? We become inferior because we see this woman. Now, only thing we can do is we're trying to impress her because we think we put them on a pedestal. And I believe that's what Dina was basically saying, that, and tell me if I'm wrong, that you kind of see everything that he has. He's a nice little, you know, nice like a guy. He has power. He has influence. He has all of this. And I'm here with none of that, you know, and we start to devalue ourselves and making ourselves look a certain way because we put this person on this particular pedestal, and we shouldn't. I'm
gonna cut you off there. I don't feel like I don't bring I don't think that's what you said, but I don't think I don't bring anything. I just feel like compared to him, it doesn't weigh.
No, that's not what that's not what I was saying, that you don't bring anything to the table. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you put him on the pedestal, so now you're devaluing, like what AD said, devaluing who you are and what you're actually bringing to him, that peace, understanding, fun, just being yourself. Because so many people that he could get are not going to bring themselves. They're going to bring whoever representative they are to get the job, and then they become the employee that you want to fire.
Employee you want to fire?
I mean, I don't know about you, but I've been a manager, and so many people will hustle their way into a job, and then you find out how lazy they really are. They find out how much a direction they don't want to take. You see what I mean? You find out all these things because these people do not want to do anything to keep their job. They become everybody's seen a lazy employee, and people date people and marry them, and they become a lazy spouse. Or they become the lazy boyfriend. They don't want to work for what they have anymore. You know, and once they get what they get, it's over after that. And everybody, you can't tell me you have never seen that employee be like, why are you still here? That's the same way we date.
Every time I go to a store, I was getting ready to say a couple stores. Every time I go in the store, I'm going to just leave it at that.
Yeah, you go to Walmart one day, you be like, why are you here?
I didn't want to say that.
Yeah, I'm saying.
That's what I was getting.
Shout out to Walmart, because sometimes we never shut up. Let me shut up, because I don't want Walmart to come get me. Walmart, I like y'all. I came and shop with y'all earlier. So
Just made that comment about Walmart, man. My grandpa told me something before he passed away, because I was like, man, I hate working around stupid people. He said smart people and dumb people need to get a job and have money in their pocket. So you cannot be mad because somebody is not somebody you feel is not as smart as you obtain a job up under you or above you. Everybody need a job.
Right. Hey, wait a minute. Lynette said the employee you want to fire. Dre Mack, copyright that. I think I am. I think I might have to copyright that. Now, there's no, because I've been. It's okay. So everybody's been in a relationship and it failed because you felt like that person didn't work hard enough to continue the relationship. Am I right or am I wrong?
Right.
Anybody else? Anybody else can it's this popcorn session. Y'all can come and talk. Talk to me now.
Yeah, I agree.
Facts.
So when you're talking about someone who feels like they're here and you feel like that they're there, that's what I'm talking about, the balance of the way the relationship works. I believe sometimes we date in an imbalanced atmosphere. We go in with good intentions. Of course, we have the good intentions. This person has a good conversation. This person has this, that, and the other. And then you get with them and then you find out the real thing. Because again, we were talking about intentions. I believe in the last podcast, these people intentions get to a point where they are just their representative is coming in. And then their intent was really, man, I just really wanted to be with somebody. I didn't really want to fight with this I didn't want to really have this relationship. This is just a relationship I'm just in because I didn't want to be lonely. In COVID, and there's so many COVID relationships that there was end up being situationships. You know what I'm saying? Because the people were bored, they had nothing else to do. When I did the Untold Stories, the young lady was like, hey, it was COVID. He was persistent. I couldn't go nowhere. So bam, here we are, relationship. And then she ended up being in one of the worst relationships that she ever had. So tell me, is that something that happens? Do we get in these situationships because we have a selfish need or anything? Y'all talk to me.
I got in a relationship because I was lonely. It was before COVID.
Mm-hmm. And who's speaking? I'm sorry, I'm not on the app.
I'm sorry, my bad. My name is Day from Kentucky.
All right.
But yeah, I got in a situationship because I was lonely, very lonely. And I'm not going to say he was inferior to me because I'm like what Stephen said, I feel like we're all equal. And, sometimes you go for someone just because of something in them that attracted you to them. But I knew he wasn't the one, he wasn't the one for me because we didn't believe the same. This man still lived with his mom, had no car, no license. He was walking to work, and I think that, kind of touched my heart a little bit because he did at least walk to work, But when it came to taking care of the business, that's not what he did. And, that situationship got me a pair of twins out of it that I'm taking care of by myself.
Anybody else want to jump in and respond to that?
I do. Dre, this make me think. It seems like it always goes back to the conversation we had about relationships of convenience.
Yeah, the convenience relationship.
Yes, I think a lot of that's at the basis of a lot of relationships.
And if y'all haven't seen that podcast, make sure y'all check out that Relationship with Convenience podcast that we did back in, I think that was January, when you're just dating for convenience and not for actual love. And that's when I was talking about when you start dating someone because they have money or they have this and they have that. And you're looking at the superficial portion of it. And you're not looking at this person as just a good person. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I use the scenario, of inferiority and superiority, because then we get to the point where I feel like some people date some people and they're like, damn, I got to take care of this person. I feel like I'm more, because you talk to them, they be like, and everybody has this. Everybody knows a yes man. Everybody knows a yes man or a yes lady. You say something. Matter of fact, Coming to America is a prime example of this, because remember, he wanted to date a woman that arouse his intellect as well as his loins. And then when he got, I think it was Colonel Uzazi's daughter, and she barking like a dog. You know what I'm saying? You get to bark like a dog woman. You know what I'm saying? Hop on one leg. And that's a superiority and inferiority right there, because now you feel there's nothing else for him to gain from that, because she would do whatever whatever he wants, and he didn't want that. So again, do we see that? Do we see some people who will get with people and it's like she do whatever I tell her to do, so I'm happy. And again, this is popcorn session, y'all, so y'all can talk to me. Or have y'all seen that? Matter of fact, I'll give you an example and we can speak on this. Have you ever heard a guy who said, I would date outside my race because I don't have no problems. They'll do whatever I say they do. They're not loud, they're not ghetto, they're not this, and they're really devaluing, you know what I'm saying, the race that they're coming from. And I see this with black men to boost up another person. Have y'all heard of that or seen that?
I've seen a lot of men do it where I'm from, and I call them cowards and weak men.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think a man should ever say he's gonna date outside the race because he can't handle a strong black woman. I think that's a bunch of, I'm not gonna cuss on your show, but I think it's a lot of BS.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I think for men like that, they're insecure about themselves.
Right. Okay. So that dives into insecurity. And again, that's part of inferiority and superiority, because you feel insecure. Let's talk about that. How many times have people dated because they settled because it was insecure to go for after actually what they really wanted, and they just settled because it was insecure within themselves?
It's a bit of insecurity mixed with I don't feel like taking on a challenge, mixed with I want to have an easy life where I can have everything my way.
Anybody else? Anybody? Y'all can jump in whenever y'all want. This is popcorn session. You can jump in whenever. Don't be scared now. Don't be scared. All right, I would
keep talking.
Yeah. I just want, I think some people and some other people have came in, so I want to give them a chance to speak. And from the Facebook comment, there's so many women over the years that have done that, and I believe she's talking about who have just settled for people. He was nice, he treated me well, he wasn't like everybody else, and they just kind of settled for the guy instead of going for the person that they kind of really wanted and fighting for that relation. I don't believe there's, I think if you start looking at dating and the reasons what we hear, you don't hear a lot of I'm gonna just fight for the relationship sometimes, or one person will fight and the other person won't, or it wasn't worth in the beginning because the intent and the convenience was just convenient.
The crazy thing about the comment that was just made, I can only speak for what I see around me in my area. I see more women settle not for the nice guy, but for the rude guy, the disrespectful guy.
Talk about it. Talk about it. Let's talk about it, y'all. Do y'all see that a lot for the guy who the thug? You know what I'm saying? For you know, the guy who can I don't know, he got time, he ain't got no job. I don't know. Y'all talk to me.
The funny thing is, Dre, we can't even say that they all thugs because some of them ain't even thugs. They just broken.
Some of them is one of them.
That's it.
What did you say? Some is what?
One of these.
Yeah, they not thugs for real. A lot of them aren't.
Is a lot of them just because I know I hear that with they talk about the beta male. I guess they got time. You know what I'm saying? Is that it? You know what I'm saying? They got the time to be able to spend, waste your time. So is that something it, or you know, just you know, let's talk about that.
From what I've seen, it's time. For some, it's sex. A lot of them have great sex. I really tell people, when you look at the horrible relationships, like in your mind, you're like, oh my goodness, I can't believe she's staying with that guy. Ask her, scale of 1 to 10, how good is the sex? 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a really high number.
How you doing?
That's one thing. But then also, it becomes this thing of, I want to be in a relationship. And because you chose me, and because I like the way that you look, or because I just like having somebody, then I'm just going to go ahead and go with it. I'm just going to go with it. Because of something that you did 3 months ago, because of something that you did 3 weeks ago, I'm going to hold on to that because I'm in love with the past. But I know that you're going to be this, that, and the other, because a lot of women have this thing where we tend to create the man in our head and try to do things to create him, make him do things that, you know, he done already showed us he's not what we want him to be, but we're still going to try to figure out how we can, you know, get him to be that man.
Say it louder. Say it louder.
They stay in that situation off of hope, off of the past and off of hope, but not off of a secured future that had already been shown that this is what it's going to be. Don't get me to go, because this is going to be a long thing. Y'all know what I'm trying to say.
Ladies, talk to me now. Do y'all see that?
She made some valid points. Go ahead, Jen.
Yeah, she did. I mean, I was just going to say that's definitely ran over my toes on that one.
I'm sorry.
Ladies, talk to me. Where do you normally see that? I mean, not normally see that at, but how often is that?
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry. My daughter had just came into the room, so I had turned y'all down.
No, you're okay. How often do you see that where you start fixated in your head about a guy and you created something like this illusion of this guy and not really thought logically about it? How often is that?
Well, I mean, if you're asking me personally, that
no, or in general, I want to put it in general terms, not personally, but in general terms.
I was about to say, because I definitely don't operate like that. I've always like kind of dated with intention. I'm a straight shooter, pretty blunt, but definitely seeing around me where, you know, people are always falling in love for potential, and potential doesn't carry very far. You know, I can't really speak for everyone, but for me personally, I do know, even as, you know, recent as, you know, my marriage or whatever, like I stayed because I knew that the potential was there. Like I've already seen these things, but it was the consistency for me. Like you couldn't consistently do these things. And when it really, really mattered, you couldn't show up. And for me, you only get to fail that test but so many times. But, you know, I definitely see a lot of people falling in love for potential, what they could be. And I think, you know, early on, like in your teenage, you know, years and college, like, I mean, yeah, listen, everybody's got to take a risk. Everybody's got to live. Everybody's got to learn. Everybody's played a fool at least once. If you've been in a relationship, you played a fool at least once. Right? I don't care how much of a player you are, whatever. However, once you get to a certain age, I'm sorry, I'm all for supporting, your mate and, giving them time and all that, but I'm not building anybody from the ground up at my age.
The buildable. Yeah, the buildable.
I know that's right.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing all that. I've invested too much time, too much work, too much healing energy into myself to basically come pick somebody up that is in shambles and living with a mother or whatever the case may be. Listen, I'm all for you. I'm rooting for you, bruh. I'm rooting for you, King. Just not with me.
All right.
I totally get that. But if the guy does have like a foundation, something to he can elevate himself, there's nothing wrong with that as well. But I've had a guy that tried to talk to me, and we're talking, communicating. I do this thing where I try to at least vet the guy prior to meeting him. He, on his dating profile, he put that he's he's this master chef or whatever. And I'm like,
okay, chef.
Cool, whatever. And that's awesome. I love to eat. And as I talk to him, I'm learning more things. And the person I met the first week, I didn't meet him in person, but talking to you on the phone, it wasn't the same person 2 weeks after, because his stories didn't make sense. I started asking around. He was like, oh yeah, he had this and he had that. It turns out that he was sleeping in someone's couch. He didn't have a job. He did not have his high school diploma. And there's nothing wrong with not having your high school diploma if you especially if you find a trade or make it work, whatever. But he led on with so many lies, and I'm like, why you're pretending to be something else? And he was just trying to put on a show. But I definitely agree with I think her name is Lady Siren, of not building someone. The person has to have some foundation on their own. Come to a relationship prepared to be in a relationship. Don't get, what's that saying? Stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I have to say.
And I just want to kind of chime in again real quick, Dre, if that's okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead. We live right now, so go ahead.
All right, cool. So because I want to make it very clear when the decision is made to move forward with someone and build with someone and grow with someone, because I ain't just trying to go through a bunch of BS, okay? I would rather grow with you through whatever it is we're working through or whatever it is we're trying to build back up from or get back on your feet. Is it Dina or Dinah? I'm sorry.
No, it's Dina. You got it right.
Okay. So, like you said, as long as they have some kind of foundation. So if there's a setback, that's understandable. But like I said, I'm just not trying to build anyone from the ground up, like somebody who's completely in shambles. So once the decision is made to move forward and okay, we are taking it to the next level, and we're moving as a unit now. All right. My thing is, don't ask me to do something that I'm not qualified to do. If I have recommended you get therapy or something for some issues you got going on behind the scenes, listen, I can be a confidant, I can be a shoulder, I can be your ear, I can be a place of peace. But I am not a degree psychologist, okay? I don't do this. I can't write you no scripts for no meds or nothing like that. So if you don't want to take my recommendation,
not a script.
Tell you. I'm just saying, because people take it as an attack, and this was one of the issues with the husband, because you took it as an attack, and that was me loving you. That was me trying to love you through what you were going through. Mm-hmm. But you're asking me as someone who, listen, I'm gonna put it to you like this: so I can swim, I can survive for myself, I can keep myself alive. But if I gotta jump in and save a person that's bigger than me, then that's probably not going to work out too well, because I'm not a trained lifeguard. You're asking me to not only jump into the ocean to save you, but you asking me to go into a riptide current to come and get you. Okay? And we both about to drown. No. You shouldn't even be asking me to do nothing like that. You got to know your limits, okay? And you should never be sacrificing yourself, okay, to save somebody else. If you're not going to put yourself first, then who else is going to do it? Like, where do you draw the line? And people talk about like the unconditional love and stuff like this. But listen, if you go upside my head, that's where my conditions end. Okay, there's no discussions. You don't stop right there. So I'm gonna tell you up front, like, listen, I love you. I want to get you through this. This is what I'm suggesting that you do. But if you don't want to take those suggestions, then you gotta travel that path. So that's all I'm saying is the support is definitely there. Once we choose to move forward, I'm definitely there for you. But you also have to know your limits, and you have to be realistic about your abilities to build and to grow with someone.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And on the Facebook chat, Facebook comments, Lynette said, we create a man off the potential, be it financial, emotional, fidelity, commitment, religious / spiritual. I have seen women get with men because they was pastors, deacons, ministers of the church. And so I have seen that. And then she put, my little brother had big money stashed in his bank account. He lived with my mom and walked everywhere. He said he didn't need his own place because he didn't have a woman. Many women turned their nose to him, but when he met his wife, he was able to help her catch up on all of her debt. He never lied to her about what he had. Granted, I think she already knew how much he made because they worked together. I guess that's a prime example of, you have someone, you got a guy who's probably walking everywhere doing this, but he probably got money stashed up because he like, I'd rather be able to get my own right now and just stash my money than to, bring a woman along. And then only thing she could look at is my situation right now and not understand what I'm trying to do. So that's also, but I think that needs to be communicated. And I feel like sometimes we don't communicate our true intentions because we're so afraid that if we communicate our true intentions, and we really be real, that this person might run off and leave. And that's part of selfishness. So that's where I start to look at that inferiority, superiority type of thing. But, tell me if I'm wrong or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, we got about, I'm gonna let it go about 8 more minutes. So we got 8 more minutes of the show. Tell me if I'm wrong on that. Tell me if we, sometimes we look at other superficial things instead of the actual person. And we're not, sometimes we don't tell the truth, men and women.
I unfortunately think that that's most of the time.
Like, do you think, elaborate a little bit on that? What do you see? Because obviously men come and talk to you all the time, but how many men can you say that actually was very upfront and honest with you and kept it a buck with you?
I've only met maybe 2 men. So I'm turning 40 soon. I've met 2 men in my lifetime that have kept it all the way a buck. And guess what? Even though, we don't date or nothing no more, because eventually it's not going to work out because we on 2 different wavelengths. But I still respect them for telling the truth. And I still talk to them on the phone when they call. We still cool because they were brutally honest in their intentions, and that was it. But that's just 2. Most of the time, sometimes I think, I wouldn't say that information, I would say that information gets, what's the word I'm looking for?
Crossed.
Omitted or just not spoke of because, you know what? Scratch that. Somebody said it real plainly on TikTok. They said that men, even though some men are not looking for relationships and they're only looking for this certain particular thing, they're not going to really say their intentions because the qualities that they're looking for are in the women who are looking for relationships. They just don't want the relationship with the woman. And so they won't say anything about their true intention because they don't want to lose that part of the connection. But at the end of the day, it's still going to go to shit.
Anybody else want to piggyback off of that or agree, disagree with that?
I like what you said, but sometimes I get real harsh on stuff like that. I'd be like, maybe if somebody hold back the cookie a little bit longer, the weak ones will fall away.
True, that's true too. I've been celibate going on. I'm in my 11th month, and yes, they leave fast.
Anybody else?
That's that Kevin Samuels stuff, Dre. Yeah, women hold the power to sex. If they hold that key to that sex a lot longer than weak men, they fall away real quick because they was only there for the sex in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't totally agree, because sometimes men could put on a show. They could tap dance around and wait 6 months, or I think it's the Steve Harvey, wait 90 days. And as soon as they hit, they dip. So I don't 100% agree. But I understand where you're coming from.
He still fell away, though. You got rid of him before he gave you a gang of trauma.
I guess. It hasn't happened to me, though, but...
It happened to me one time when I was younger. A guy, he waited about 4 or 5 months, and he got it and still dipped, because that's what he was in for. But I think it all boils down to, like, we as women, I don't think we, like, do enough, ask enough questions in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't get to the root, because if you actually let men talk, they will tell you everything you need to know, and you can make a decision. You know what I'm saying? So
you're giving out secrets.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes if you let him get that far and he still dipped, he probably already told you that months ago. You just wasn't listening because it was something about him that you liked.
Girl, I literally said that about 2 days ago.
So did.
I'm so glad that I'm not the only one that sees the truth. Sometimes you just got to sit back and pay attention and get out of your own head, creating your own scenarios. Just listen to exactly what he is telling you. Now, I will agree with Dina, there are some men that are phenomenal actors. As I said before, I'll say it again. We are all actors. Only some of us get paid for it. And there are some men who are phenomenal actors. But you still, it's unfortunate that they do what they do. But I just say this to say you really got to stay focused and observe people and observe their behavioral pattern. Ask questions. Remember the answers. Bring it up again a couple weeks later to see if the answer's still the same. Like, you got to do something.
I do that all the time.
Oh, girl, I'll bring it up a whole 3 months later to see if you
real.
said the same thing. Hello?
And it's to see if the tone match, because there's this guy I bumped into, and he bought me a drink. It was the first time anyone has ever bought me a drink. I was waiting for a friend at a bar, and he told me, so I was like, so what are you looking for? And he was like, oh, I'm putting on my deep voice. Oh, I'm just, I'm looking for a friend. I'm like, well, I'm looking for a relationship, or possibly a husband. And he was like, why can't we be friends first? Don't you want to get to know me? Da, 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 da. And he went on this whole tirade of, I'm doing it wrong and I should be his friend first. I'm like, you're telling me from the beginning that you only can see me as a friend. Why should I engage? When men talk, you just listen. He told me from the moment he met me, he could only see, and then he was upset that I even asked that question. So you think I'm going to waste 2-3 months of getting to know you, possibly give up the cookies and waste my time? No, thank you. Okay, I'm done.
All right. Anybody else want to rebuttal to that? We got about 6 more minutes left on the YouTube channel. And again, just for anybody who's coming in, we are live on YouTube. We are live on the Facebook page. We are talking about, do we date inferior partners, or are you the inferior one in a relationship just because you wanted to settle, or whatever the case may be, just to be with someone? So that's the conversation that we're having today. I thank you for everybody who came in today. Anybody else want to speak on that, on what Dina just said, or anybody else have their own thoughts on the subject? And again, don't be scared. You can come in. It's popcorn session, so you can go ahead and just pop right in. All right. All right. again, with the acting, there are men, there are women that will play the role. They will play a role to get a husband. They'll play the role to get a wife. They'll play a role to get some cookies. They'll play to get some social strudel. They'll play the role. They'll play the role to get some strudel too. Please trust me, they will do that. You know what I mean? Just to test the water. That's not right. But anyway, I mean, but that's the thing. Some people do certain things to get what they want, and that's where we sometimes dumb ourselves down. I've dated people, you know, where I kind of had to dumb myself down because they just didn't understand what I was saying. You know what I'm saying? And settle for, you know, for that relationship. On the YouTube channel, it said that's a smart lady. She shouldn't feel inferior. Her quality seemed pretty high. Absolutely. And that's from Y9 on the YouTube channel. Again, you know, it just depends on what you want. What do you want? Do you want someone that's equal to you, or do you want someone that you feel like you got to control? You know what I'm saying? I don't think nobody wants that, but some people that seem like they thrive off of that. Or do you want someone that you know, want them to just, you do whatever they tell you to do and you're cool with that? And if that's what you want, that's pretty cool. But you can't come back and start complaining about that, because like I put in the title today, a lot of people complain about the quality of people that's out here, you know. And again, are we dating inferior partners, and why? Because we complain about the quality, but you settle for the quality. You know, you settle for that type of person because whatever your own selfish thoughts are. And I believe that if we just wait and find out exactly what we want, find out exactly what you're trying to have in a person, maybe you will get somebody that's on equal footing. You shouldn't put anybody above you, and you shouldn't put anybody below you. You should get exactly what you want if you just be smart and be patient with it. Again, I thank everybody for tuning in on the Clubhouse portion of this. If anybody want to say anything before I start wrapping this up.
I just want to say sometimes it's based on your perception. Sometimes you may think that you're dating somebody inferior to you, and they may think that you're inferior to them. That's just, sometimes you really gotta realize that it's gonna be hard to find somebody that is on your level when it comes to everything. You are going to surpass them in some levels, in some circumstances, in some topics, in some areas, and vice versa. And that's totally okay. You know what I mean? So don't ever think, yeah, love yourself. That's all I'm saying. Love yourself.
All day, every day.
All day, every day. All right. Anybody else before I wrap this up? All right, so we're wrapping up the YouTube version and the Facebook Live version of this. Again, make sure you're checking out this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Speaker Radio, or whatever you listen to podcasts at. Make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel. All you got to do is hit the bell notification, because you'll never miss any one of my videos, and hit the like button. It helps out the algorithm for the show. I thank y'all for tuning in. I thank everybody from Clubhouse. Y'all was awesome. Peace and shalom to everyone. I am out.
What's up? What's going on, everybody? This is your man, Dre Mack, with another episode of the Dre Mack Podcast Show.